The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Phyllis Summers may double-cross Kane Ashby, but will her betrayal be for Nick Newman or Jack Abbott? Phyllis has been working hard to convince Kane that she's all in on his Genoa City domination plot. But is she really? Let's face it, Phyllis doesn't have a great track record when it comes to being trustworthy. Although Phyllis seems committed to helping Kane right now, that could certainly change as this storyline moves along. Phyllis pointed out that no one plays her and gets away with it, which almost felt like a hint about where this storyline is going. There may be some situation where Phyllis indeed winds up feeling played by Kane and decides to retaliate. Regardless, Phyllis's loyalty to Kane isn't something he can truly count on. In many ways, this Kane story feels reminiscent of when Tucker McCall came back on the scene and started making power plays of his own. Y&R fans may recall that Phyllis angered Tucker by double-crossing him for the Abbotts. Phyllis even went as far as hacking Tucker for Jack, so that's worth keeping in mind. The show may decide to do a repeat of that storyline by having Phyllis turn her back on Kane and join Team Abbott. However, there's someone else who could potentially be worth double-crossing Kane for. When Phyllis first made her pitch to Kane about teaming up, he seemed skeptical that she'd really be willing to betray Nick. In the end, maybe Phyllis will indeed put her Nick loyalty first. We could imagine Nick convincing Phyllis to side with him and protect his family eventually. Victor Newman wants to use Kane to crush Jabot, but there are no guarantees when it comes to any alliance they might form. Besides, Victor would be smart to go ahead and start secretly protecting himself for when Kane inevitably goes after Newman Enterprises next. That brings us back to Phyllis and the possibility that she could turn against Kane, especially for Nick's sake. Phyllis is always going to feel connected to Nick through their romantic history and their mutual link to Summer Newman. Nick might even convince Victor to give Phyllis some shiny new company to run, one that has the perfect job to excite Daniel Romalotti Jr., since she's been so obsessed with finding him one. Between Nick's sway with Phyllis and whatever Victor might throw in to sweeten the pot, Phyllis might be willing to play for Team Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane may have bad news brewing on multiple fronts, so stay tuned for updates on Phyllis's sneaky actions and any other betrayals that might be coming up. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Tuesday, August 12th, reveal that Phyllis Summers will spill a secret, while Audra Charles hides her trail with Nate Hastings. Claire Newman will also take charge of a situation, so let's discuss what's coming up in Genoa City. For starters, Phyllis will make Daniel Romalotti Jr. her confidant on Tuesday's Y&R episode. Since Phyllis will divulge a secret, she may open up about Kane Ashby's agenda in GC and the key role she'll play in it. If Phyllis drops a hint about her hacking skills being put to good use, Daniel may sound the alarm. Daniel certainly won't want Phyllis committing crimes and getting herself thrown in prison because of Kane, so he may warn against continuing this partnership. However, Phyllis may promise everything's under control and refuse to walk away when Kane actually values her work. Kane treats Phyllis like she brings something to the table, so that's awfully appealing to her right now. Meanwhile, Claire will take charge of a situation, presumably the one at Society, after spotting Audra kissing Kyle. If Claire keeps watching and Kyle ends up pulling away, that could score him some points. Claire may view Audra as the problem and make it crystal clear that she needs to back off or else. Then again, this incident could intensify Claire's doubts about Kyle's faithfulness and leave her with more questions about what really happened with Audra in Nice. Even if Claire puts most of the blame on Audra, she'll surely put Kyle through another interrogation as she works to uncover the whole story. As for Audra, she'll hide her trail with Nate somehow. Audra may have some regrets about planting her latest kiss on Kyle, especially if Claire threatens to go running to Nate with updates on the news. It's possible Claire will indeed rat Audra out, but it's also possible she'll use this stolen kiss drama as leverage. Claire might vow to tell Nate all about Audra's plot for Victor Newman and this makeout display unless she leaves Kyle alone. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire will decide she's done letting Audra control the narrative, so she'll get fierce as she strikes back. In the upcoming week of the daytime soap opera, The Young and the Restless set to air from August 11th to August 15th, 25. Tensions rise as loyalties are being tested. While Lily steps onto Kane's train, Jack is unsure and questions Billy's reliability. On the other hand, Daniel might struggle with his true feelings towards Tessa. The upcoming episode of the daytime soap opera, The Young and the Restless, is set to bring a wave of emotions, with challenging decisions. As alliances shift, loyalties will be tested. The upcoming week promises whirlwind episodes that will leave the fans shaken and wondering what's next. As seen in the preview for the upcoming episodes of the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless, Jack remarks that his plans involve relying on Billy. Jack has a conversation with Diane, where he says, as seen in the previous episodes, Billy has partnered up with Kane Ashby in his plan to take over every major industry in Genoa. However, speculations suggest that Jack will also partner up with the one person no one can stand, but the one person who can help him in the situation is Victor Newman. Further on The Young and the Restless, with Kane Ashby's return to Genoa, Lily expressed that she will try to avoid him and not get anywhere near him. However, speculations suggest that in the upcoming episode, Lily might come closer to Kane to bring down his guard. Meanwhile, Kane is planning to take over Geno's major industries, with strategic planning from the wealth he inherited after the death of his father. The only way that everyone can know his strategy and plan against is by bringing Lily closer to him. As Lily is one person Kane wants the most and was ready to sacrifice his life, speculations suggest the reason Lily is coming closer to him is to know more about his plans and plot against them. Anyhow, will Kane let down his guard and reveal his strategy? Elsewhere in Genoa, on The Young and the Restless, as seen in past episodes, the distance between Tessa and Mariah is growing further apart. Mariah's secret has caused some significant strain on their marriage, and Daniel has been there to comfort Tessa through this all. Anyhow, as seen in the preview of the upcoming episodes, Daniel sits with Danny and, when Danny asks, is starting to feel something more for Tessa. Daniel replies by saying, implying that Daniel's caring nature towards Tessa during this tough time in her marriage is turning into something serious. Will this friendship take a romantic turn? Will this new dynamic create even more trouble in Tessa and Mariah's already chaotic marriage? Jess Walton, who plays Jill on The Young and the Restless, has never phoned in a performance. Well, figuratively, that is. Technically, she used a cell phone this week to appear on the show, but that didn't detract from her performance. Soap Central is bestowing Performer of the Week honors on the two-time Daytime Emmy winner for Jill's emotional showdown with Billy. The story of Chance's passing wouldn't be complete without an appearance by Walton's Jill, as he was the son of Jill's child Philip. The actress doesn't reside in Los Angeles, so she played her scenes via cell phone. The show keeps in this forefront the tension between Jill's son Billy and Jill's surrogate son Kane. Jill had already learned about Chance's passing when Walton appeared on screen, but she continued to play Jill's devastation over the loss. He was such a good, kind man, Jill lamented about Chance. He had such a loving heart. He was always trying to protect everyone. Viewers were denied seeing on-screen Jill learn from Kane about Chance's death, but Walton made sure viewers knew just how much Jill loved Chance in these scenes. Jill's sorrow turned to frustration and anger, not just over Chance, but the fact that Billy didn't call her about his nephew's death. Strangely, Billy played the victim, which prompted Jill to go on the offensive. "Poor baby, what has been done to you? How you've been betrayed and wronged," Jill mocked her son as she delivered some tough love. "The world really is out to get you, isn't it, Billy?" This shift in Jill was a reminder that Walton is an expert at playing her character as a vulnerable woman with her heart on her sleeve in one moment, and in the next, she's not afraid to stand up for herself and call people out on their self-pity. When Billy pressed his mom for details on her alliances with both Kane and a dying Colin, Walton reminded us that Jill makes no apologies for seeing the truth or giving someone a second chance. "For many years, Colin made me laugh," Jill said, as to why she visited her conman ex-husband. "He made me crazy, but he also made me love him." Walton is so deeply immersed in her character. that viewers can easily visualize Jill's final moments with Colin at Kane's chateau, even though we never saw them play out on screen. Her ability to play the entirety of her character's history is captivating. We can never get enough of Walton on our screens, even when that screen is a cell phone screen. Walton played Jill as a woman who had no regrets about giving Colin another chance. "I found a man who had totally changed," Jill recollected. "All he wanted was forgiveness so he could die in peace." Despite hearing Jill's vulnerable description of Colin and her grief over Chance, Billy refused to play nice with his mom. True to character, Jill didn't hesitate to point out Billy's past. She reminded Billy that while he's protective of Lily now, he didn't hesitate when it came to firing her last year. The relationship between Jill and Billy is strained. A lesser actress might have chosen to have her character remain furious with her son. Walton, however, had Jill choose frustrated empathy for Billy. Jill stated, "Chance is gone from this world, and if you can't understand that, I weep for you." Bam! The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 11th to August 22nd, reveal that Claire Newman will seek revenge while someone makes a special wedding request. Nick Newman will also lose it on Billy Abbott. So here's what Y&R fans can expect. The week of August 11 to 15 will bring Holden Novak's shock over Lily Winter's updates. Lily will admit Damian Kane didn't make it back from Nice alive, so Holden will be stunned. As for Mariah Copeland, she'll catch Sharon Newman off guard with an outburst. Although Mariah will supposedly be in therapy, she still won't be willing to get honest with Sharon, and will ultimately blow up at her instead. Meanwhile, Claire's revenge should be looming after she spots Audra Charles and Kyle Abbott kissing at Society. We'll see Claire make a bold move as she grabs control of the situation. Claire could retaliate by exposing Audra's inappropriate behavior to Nate Hastings, so we'll see if he finds out about Audra's stolen kisses and the plot to ruin Claire's relationship. As for Kyle, he'll blame Audra for that lip lock and beg Claire to believe he's devoted to her instead. How much will Claire be willing to put up with now that all these doubts are bubbling up? Other Y&R spoilers say Victor will focus on Kane payback. It sounds like Kane will snub Victor by refusing to go along with his alliance against the Abbotts and their family business. Kane may seek Jack as an ally instead, since Jack is about to receive a surprise invitation. Over with Nick, he'll lose it on Billy during a fierce face-off. Nick may think Billy should be loyal to the people he cares about instead of partnering up with Kane. Billy will pretend he's on board with Kane's plans, but he'll secretly be scheming with Jack to stop him from making a mess at Jabode. Back with Victor, he'll count on Nick to play a big role in the Newmans' fight against Kane. Sharon may witness Nick's sinister side coming out as a result, and could perhaps get unsettled by that news. Next, there should be a wedding-related request, since Christine Blair will need a favor. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will get a request of some sort, so we'll see if Christine needs a matron of honor or at least a wedding planner. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will also come clean to Danny Romalotti about his growing feelings for Tessa Porter, so Danny may have some advice. Over with Kane, he'll make another vow to Lily and hope they can get their romance back on track. Lily will let Kane believe that's possible as she attempts to score info about his true agenda. During the week of August 1822, Lily's manipulation plot could get messy. The longer this goes on, the more complicated Lily's feelings toward Kane could get. There'll also be more Newman strategizing along the way. Victor won't be messing around when it comes to Kane vengeance, so he'd better be ready for anything. Back with Kyle, he may pull out all the stops to prove his devotion to Claire. But will it work? Daniel could also cross the line with Tessa now that his feelings are getting stronger, so we'll see how she might respond to any bold moves he'll make. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some twists and turns, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Lily Winters reconsidered Victor Newman's proposal. He believes she shouldn't avoid Kane Ashby, but seek him out. Speaking of engagement, Kane intends to reconcile with his two-time ex-wife. Then, he wants to follow through to remarriage. Lily is disgusted by Kane's behavior and fears for the impact his new lifestyle will have on their twins. But fans can see that she's retained feelings for the arguable one true love of her life. Following soap operas means that the life stories of many characters are as familiar as those of real-life loved ones on this side of the screen. It might be best not to mention that some connections on this side of Genoa City, Wisconsin, might be as soapy or even soapier than the GC residents. Longtime fans recall Lily and Daniel Romalotti falling in love, running away to California, and getting married approximately 20 years ago when they were kids. That storyline made Kane her second husband a few years after that happened. Discretion is the better part of daytime valor, with a word wink towards some cheeky family connections. As for Lily's family, she no longer considers Kane to be part of it. Yes, they have an adult daughter and son, but Kane is perceived as nothing more than the twins' father. Flynn's character believes that his family can be restored. Victor recognizes that Kane is serious about wanting to reconcile with Lily. So, wanting to use him and the Abbotts to crush each other, the head of Newman Enterprises believes Lily can help him achieve that goal. But neither she nor Victor realizes that the anticipated heartbreak Kane would suffer would create unknown consequences. Devin Winters sees the danger and is wisely warning his sister. Lily plans to channel her anger. So, viewers anticipate her attempting to lure Kane into a false sense of hope as a means of distraction and payback. Lily hadn't seen Kane in 6 years, which was when they divorced. He followed his dad, Colin Atkinson, around the globe. The audience recently learned that Aristotle Dumas's persona was born from that reconnection, as was Kane's newfound wealth. There is a flaw in Lily's calculation. She's been hit by the triple whammy of Kane's stunning reveal, romantically connecting with Damian Kane, and then having River's character die. Being alone leaves Lily reeling. She's responding without having had time to process the mega shifts in her life, and that leaves space for major errors ahead and underestimating consequences. The Young and the Restless, spoiler for Monday, August 11th, reveal that someone gets the worst news ever, while another asks for a favor and a mother worries about her child. What's set to unravel during Monday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, August 11th, suggest that Holden Novak will get some bad news, and Lily Winters will be the one to deliver it. Could it be that he hasn't heard about Damian Kane's demise in Nice? This will likely rock Holden incredibly, especially since he pushed Damian away after they both got fired by Aristotle Dumas, aka Kane Ashby. The two were best friends, but on the outs right before Damian's passing. How bad will this news rock Holden? Will he think twice about working with Kane after he hears about Damian's death? Across town, Jack Abbott will turn to Victoria Newman for a favor, and this is either about Victor Newman or Kyle Abbott's relationship with Claire Newman, or possibly both. Jack may fill Victoria in about the fact that the mustache hired Audra Charles to break Kyler up, so how will Victoria react to this? Speaking of mama bears, The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, indicate that she'll continue to worry about Mariah Copeland and her behavior. Considering fans know what Mariah did during her business trip away, there is every reason to be concerned about Mariah, especially when she's acting so out of her normal behavior. Mariah needs to confess to someone about what she did so she can get some help, but will she confide in her mom? If anyone knows what Mariah is going through, it would be Sharon. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kane Ashby is in Genoa City and looking for alliances. The man has already partnered up with Billy Abbott and Phyllis Summers. Who will be next? Could it actually be Audra Charles? Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next in the CBS soap opera. Trigger warning. This post includes mentions of suicide. If you are having thoughts of self-harm, please call 911. Let's start off with Kane's return to Genoa City. Despite 3 men being dead, the tycoon refuses to give up. For a bit, Kane seemed explosively angry after Carter's betrayal and suicide. Everyone is furious with Kane, even though he didn't kill Damian Kane and Chance Chancellor. Even so, nobody would have died that day if Kane hadn't had this mysterious party in the first place. In any case, Kane has already made alliances with Billy and Phyllis. So, what comes next? Audra was one person who left the party with some business losses. The brunette wasn't able to fulfill her side of the deal with Victor. The patriarch demanded that Audra break up Kyle Abbott and Claire Grace Newman. Audra wasn't able to make it work, though. Despite her smooth talking, Victor not only canceled their deal, but ordered Audra to pay back the money he had already given her for Labronte. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle is already gloating to Audra. The brunette is trying to cover, but just ends up spewing her fury all over the place. At the same time, she needs to keep her cool around Nate Hastings. Once he finds out that she was making intimate moves on Kyle, he could rethink the entire relationship. Kyle might gloat now, but soap characters have a way of getting a taste of their own medicine. With Audra losing so much and about to lose more, she will need someone to give her a chance. There is no one in Genoa City that will work with Audra considering her past. If she had refused Victor's deal and warned Kyle or Claire, then it might be different. So, if someone is going to give her a chance, it must be someone new. Perhaps someone like Kane? Now, how would Phyllis and Billy react to having to partner with Audra? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of August 11th, 2025. It shows Kane Ashby surprising Lily Winters. Daniel Romalotti Jr. makes a confession. Plus, Jack Abbott is forced to make a tough decision about the figure of Jabot. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off at the beginning of the preview clip. Daniel catches up with his dad. As the two share a heart-to-heart, the amateur guitarist tells Danny Romalotti that he's worried that he's developing feelings for Tessa Porter. Daniel loves Heather Stevens so much, so that might be one issue. Another could be that Daniel knows Tessa's wounds are still fresh from her separation with Mariah Copeland. Danny tells his son that it sounds like Tessa means a lot to him. Of course, Danny has suspected this, and it does make him smile. The musician very much would like to see his son happy again. Tessa must be having the same confusing thoughts about Daniel. However, they are adorable together, so maybe they can make a romance work. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 11th reveal that the preview clip also features Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott. The patriarch says that there is only one problem with the plan. It does require that the family put all of their faith and future of Jabot in Billy Abbott's hands. Over at Kane's newly delivered train car to Genoa City, he sends out an invite to Lily. However, Lily walks in pensively and with a confused look on her face. Meanwhile, Kane is all smiles as he greets Lily with his twinkling electric blue eyes. He tells Lily, "Welcome aboard." Now, I'm wondering why Lily goes to his train car to begin with, unless she decides to take Victor Newman up on his proposition. The Newman patriarch advised Lily not to stay away from Kane, but to do the opposite. Victor hopes that it will give them powerful intel. However, Lily has been burned by Victor too many times before, so could she end up making a secret alliance with Kane? The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest 3 major bombshells are about to hit the land of Genoa City, which will cause 3 major character meltdowns. What secrets will be spilled, and how will these individuals react? Time to talk about it. Claire Newman has taken a step back from her demure demeanor and has had an edgier side as of late. Kyle Abbott recently came only half clean when he told his gal pal what happened in France, between him and Audra Charles. As Claire is bound to learn that the flirting was heavy in Nice, and Kyle shared a lip lock with Audra, she'll not only question why Kyle lied about it, but will likely lash out at the brunette. During an Essud interview, Haley Aaron hinted at a tougher Claire coming soon, and giving Audra a taste of her own medicine, so Ms. Charles had better watch her back where Claire is concerned once she learns the truth. Much like Claire, Nate Hastings is struggling with the loss of a family member, as his brother Damian Kane was stabbed in Nice. Nate was there for both Claire and Victoria Newman when they were dealing with Cole Howard's passing, so whether or not Claire finds out the truth, she's likely to tell him about Audra's seduction plan. He'll feel utterly betrayed that Audra teamed up with Victor Newman to cross a line like this. Between Claire and Nate lashing out, Audra won't know what hit her. Then there's Kane Ashby, who could unleash a massive meltdown if his plan to take over GC hits a snag. It sounds like Lily Winters may deceive him into believing a reunion could happen, so he's sure to be furious when he finds out he was duped for intel to help Victor, of all people. In the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera, The Young and the Restless, airing on August 8th, 2025, the feud between the Newmans and the Abbotts grows more intense as the major players in Genoa City face tough decisions and emotional moments. The main focus of the episode will be Victor making a bold deal that can change the future for the Abbott family. At the same time, Billy is caught in the middle of several problems, dealing with a tense moment with his brother Jack, being provoked by Phyllis, and feeling unsure about where he stands with Chelsea. Billy on the Young and the Restless heads to society, hoping to relax, but things don't go as planned. He's still upset about recent business problems and the negative media stories happening behind his back. Then he runs into Phyllis, who knows exactly how to get under his skin. Just seeing her is enough to annoy him, but it gets worse when Jack shows up. The moment between the brothers quickly turns into a heated argument. Their already shaky relationship gets even more strained, and with Phyllis watching and possibly stirring up trouble, the situation becomes more intense. Old issues come up again, and Billy starts to question who he can really trust as everything around him starts to fall apart. Chelsea on the Young and the Restless is stuck between Adam and Victor, who are handling the Newman-Abbott feud in very different ways. Adam has been trying to delay the harsh media attacks Victor wants to launch against Billy, but he knows he can't stall forever. Victor is losing patience, and Adam understands what can happen if he goes against him for too long. When Adam opens up to Chelsea about Victor's plan using Kane to turn the Abbotts against each other, she starts to question everything. Chelsea doesn't like that Adam is going along with Victor's dirty tactics, but part of her still hopes he's a good man deep down. Now she has to figure out if she can stand by Adam, knowing what he's involved in, or if it's time to walk away. Victor's plan on the Young and the Restless becomes clearer as he reaches out to Kane. Even though they don't fully trust each other, Victor wants to use Kane's anger toward the Abbotts to his advantage. He offers a deal that seems fair, but has hidden strings. At the same time, Lily is pretending to make peace with Kane while secretly trying to figure out his true plans. Kane and Victor may both have their own agendas, but that won't stop them from teaming up for now. As the week ends, things in Genoa City are heating up. Billy's life is falling apart. Adam is trying to keep up with Victor while holding on to Chelsea, and Victor is pulling strings behind the scenes to shake things up between the Newmans and Abbotts. With secret deals and shifting loyalties, Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless promises to be full of drama. Kane's part in Victor's plan can change everything, and some may not see it coming. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, August 11th, 2025. Fans can expect Sharon Newman to fret about Mariah Copeland. Meanwhile, Holden Novak makes a grim discovery. There will also be Jack Abbott, who seeks out Victoria Newman's help. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Mariah, who is still dealing with a big mystery. Well, it's a mystery to fans, but not to Mariah. The redhead got drunk on a business trip and had a flirty encounter with an older gentleman. Then, Mariah killed him. Once she came back to Genoa City, she was definitely spooked and rattled. However, she won't open up to Sharon or Tessa Porter about it. Mariah wouldn't talk about it even when Tessa threatened to end the marriage. In the meantime, Sharon will continue to worry about Mariah. Keeping this secret isn't making things better. It's making Mariah's life worse. Sharon might try to reach out to Mariah to get her to talk. The therapist even suggested that Mariah could talk to someone other than her. However, Mariah keeps insisting it's not safe to talk about it. So, as Mariah keeps this secret, expect her mental state to get worse. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, August 11th, reveal that Holden will make a grim discovery. Now that everyone is back in Genoa City, Lily Winters decides that Holden is the next person who needs to learn about Damien Kane's death. While Holden and Damien had a falling out before the trip to Nice, the young man certainly didn't want his former best friend to die. So this could really affect Holden. Could it also affect Holden's secret deal with Kane Ashby? Over with Jack, he has been torn about putting Jabot in Billy Abbott's hands. In light of the Kane situation, Jack goes to talk to Victoria. While Victoria has always been Team Newman, she could agree that they need a united front. The Abbott and Newman families have united before to defeat a bigger threat. Could we see something similar? Jack expressed concern about whether Victor would agree to join forces or not. So, The Abbott patriarch might try to get Victoria's help with that.